Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Pentiment. My name's Heliax, and last time we went down into the salt mines and started work and perhaps finished work on the first part of the Wrathhouse mural here that we're creating. Right now we are in the process of trying to find information about the history of the Abbey itself. And I don't remember if we talked to Gret and Agnes, so I'm just going to talk to them real quick, make sure we got that. I know we went up there, we talked to the doctor and the inventor. They couldn't help us translate the book, so we're going to have to get that from somebody else. Maybe Father Thomas can help us. But that's what we're doing right now, is just getting that taken care of. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down... Yep, we're going to go down to Town Commons. See if anybody has anything to say to us in here. No. No. You'd think those two could translate the book. Woshlav at least, right? I don't know if both the nuns... Ooh. God bless you, Magdalene. Need something? Maybe. I'm looking into the history of Tassing. I think some families have remembered more than others. Can you recall anything? No, I don't think those stories would be much use to you anyway. It's all folktale and pagan nonsense. No place for those things in a good Christian household. Oh, all right. Is that really what you think? It doesn't matter. It's too late now to do anything about it, right? True enough. I'm sorry, Magdalene. Like you said, it's too late to do anything about it now. It's all right. Well, thanks anyway. I'll see you later. Until then. Huh. For some reason, I did not expect her to be so standoffish. Artemis. Oats. And then we'll go Black Till. Eva. Christina. Okay. And we'll just make a quick trip down through the farms. I doubt any of them will know anything, but you never know. We haven't gone into their house at all. Hello, Magdalene. Magdalene? Jetta. Hetty might know something. She's old. Magdalene, Simon, Hans. It's better not be the same thing. Hello, Hans. I hope that you're there because he's a good man. Yeah, we've seen this before. God damn it. This is like the only sort of like... I wouldn't even call it a bug. It's just like a little tick that the game has. It's the first time. Really the only thing. Hail Peter. Big Jorg. Veronica. And Clara. Is Clara at my house? She must be at my house. Okay. Let's go to Father Thomas. Back up here. And then up to the town commons. And then over here. I know this town like the back of my hand. I'd better know it by now. This is my house. Clara. Let's make sure. Alright, Father Thomas. Can you help me out? Father Thomas. God bless you, Magdalene. And God bless you, Father Thomas. Do you have a moment? Of course. What can I help you with? I want to ask you about Tassing's saints. I'd like to represent them in the Wrathhouse. I'm thrilled to hear it. The saints will make a wonderful centerpiece for the murals. You misunderstand, Father. I may incorporate them, but there are other possibilities. No, not as a centerpiece, simply as part of Tassing's history. Let's make a deal. I listen rapturously as you tell me about the saints, and you don't press me about putting them in the mural. Very well. But you know, there is one saint you're overlooking. Mary? Yes, well done, Magdalene. Many people forget that Mary is the greatest saint. And she visited one of the peasants here in Tassing centuries ago. Oh, is that where the painting came from? An apparition? Yes, exactly. I read about something similar happening in the mountains near Genoa, Mary appearing to a peasant. I believe it. The Blessed Virgin has appeared to many people all over Christendom. Centuries ago, a farmer in the fields behind us had 3 visions of Mary. In the first, she told him that she wanted him to tell the Bishop of Tassing that she had appeared, Fressing. The peasant traveled to Fressing, but the bishop would not see him or hear him. That's not a short trip. It certainly is not, but the peasant had received a holy vision. What else could one do in the face of a divine revelation? Well, when you put it that way. The peasant returned to Tassing and had another vision in the field. The Virgin showed him a pattern, a labyrinth. She told him to draw it on a sheet of birch bark, and bring the drawing to the Bishop of Fressing. Why didn't she just give him the labyrinth the first time? The bishop attempted to turn the peasant away, but he could see the drawing of the labyrinth in his hands. It was the same image that the bishop had seen in a dream 3 nights earlier. He met with the peasant, who told him of the 2 apparitions he had seen here in Tassing. The bishop was moved by the peasant's story, and he came here to Tassing. The bishop came here? He did. It's the only time the bishop has ever come to Tassing. And when the bishop came, Mary appeared to both of them. She told the farmer that the town needed to build this church. She told the bishop to support the town. Was the town so poor that they couldn't have built it on their own? Oh, I don't know, but certainly the support of the bishop must have made it much easier. And so the bishop helped fund the creation of this church. The people of Tassing have been using it ever since. You're not from Tassing. How'd you hear the story? Yeah, how'd you hear the story? True, I am not. The people told me when I came. And the former priest told them when they were children, and so on. The priests and the flock have shared the responsibility of passing on the story over the centuries. Do you really think that story is true, Father Thomas? Well, of course I do. Why wouldn't I? There's a... What is this? The titular character of a popular 15th century book. Taylor is a prankster, continuously exposing the vices and hypocrisy of others. He is also quite skilled at tricking people. Oh, this one again. Continue. He went around with a head that he said belonged to a saint, preaching as though he were a priest. And everyone prayed and donated to him as though it were real, never knowing the truth. Magdalene, is the story of Tilly Eulenspiegel true? No, of course not. It's just a funny story. But you see truth in it, yes? I suppose. Something to think about. Thank you for the story, Father Thomas. You are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you and your work, Magdalene. God bless you, Father Thomas. Okay. And I just remembered that we did not want to go to him first to get the book translated, because he might not like the idea of reading a secular book. So we're going to avoid doing that. And that's our only choice. Let's go check on Elsa and Anna. Magdalene, dear, what brings you up the hill? Dad suggested I ask your oh yeah, I forgot she might have something. Dad suggested I ask your family for the mural. About your family for the mural. He said your sister used to tell him about your family history. Your family name was whoever their real name was. Oh. Not a soul in town has asked me about my family in years. I was beginning to think my neighbors have forgotten us. I'm not surprised your father remembers the Caviezel's. I forget how to say it. Caviezel's? Caviezel's, I don't know. He was sweet on my sister before he met your mother. I'm the last of us left now. Caviezel doesn't sound like a local name. Why wouldn't it be? I am Bavarian. It is my name. So it is a Bavarian name. No one else in town has a name like that. And shouldn't you be a Cavazilian? I've always been called Cavazil, as were my sisters and mother, and her mother before her. My grandfather told me that Cavazils have lived in this area for hundreds of years. Perhaps even 1,000, though it seems impossible to imagine a time so long ago. They were Roman. Were they Romans? No. The Cavazils were part of the old people, the original Bavarian people. They helped to resettle Tassing after the Romans left. Built their home right on the spot where they had been living here when the Romans arrived. Interesting. Doesn't that seem unlikely to you? Oh, who can say? Why does this story need to be true? However true it may be, or may not be. However true it may or may not be, doesn't matter, Magda. It matters that I believe it, and that it connects me to my ancestors. When I think of the ancient Cavazils, driven from their land only to find it again and become Christians, they feel nearer to me. Do you understand? This is like, I understand the way of thinking. I do. Right? And listen, I play a lot of fantasy games and I read a lot of fantasy books and sci-fi books and stories that aren't real. The messages that matter in them, right? And I get that. But when we're talking about history, like the history of your family, the history of a place, of events, of real events, I disagree that that doesn't matter if it's a true story or not. I think it's very important that we know which one's the true story and which one is not. Not to say that the untrue story doesn't have value, but it's important to know that it's an untrue story. The message can still be valuable, but the events aren't real. Anyway, I think so. It's like when my dad tells me stories about courting my mom. I don't remember her face, but when he tells me about her smile, I could almost recall it. Yes, it doesn't matter whether you really remember. When I sing my sister's favorite songs to Oriki, I may not know all the words anymore, but that's alright. Just as I may not know exactly how the Cavazils resettled Tassing. What matters is that I feel close to her, and them, even though they are so far from me now. That is what stories are for, Magda. Now go on. You've got a mural to complete. Thank you, Elsa. You've given me much to consider. God bless you, Magdalene, dear. Okay. Anna? God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Anna. How are you? Oh, keeping busy. There's always plenty to do around the house. How's the mural coming? Paul mentioned your progress is quite impressive. I'll have to thank him. That's high praise from a councilman. I'm making steady progress. I think I'll be finished just before the new year. I didn't realize the council cared so much, especially since I wasn't their first choice. I'm making steady progress. Oh, how wonderful. I'll have to bring Andreas and Orki by sometime to see your progress. We won't get in your way, of course. I'm sure they'd love to learn about the process. You're all more than welcome, but watch your step. There's plaster everywhere. I've just mixed a new batch to keep the wall moist. It's hard to maintain the right texture when it's so cold out. Oh, I can imagine. I had a similar problem when I helped my mother in the bakery. Rolling dough in winter was such trouble. We had to throw out so many batches that wouldn't rise. Your discipline is admirable, Magdalene. You know, I was a real rascal back in the day. Skipped on working with my parents more times than I can count. You sound like a regular St. Augustine. Yeah. There may be more to that than you think, Magda. I was a thief and a scoundrel. Really? It started with cakes from my mother's table, still hot from the oven. Soon it was silverware, mugs, trinkets I found around town. Of course, stealing is against the Lord's commandments. So my father would make me return everything if I had... So my father would make me return everything if I hadn't eaten it already, and marched me to church to pray. Father Thomas grew accustomed to seeing me. Father Thomas grew accustomed to seeing me more than Sunday mornings. There we go. I do want to apologize if you guys can hear voices in the background. My family is being rather loud at the moment, which is it is what it is. It's family. I guess you got tired of saying Ave Marias? What changed? Yeah, what changed? Ave Maria. So, for those, since we're not going into it, when you go to confession, they'll often say, say however many Hail Marys to repent. I grew out of the habit over time. I think I started to see why my parents had such a devotion to the Lord. Stealing was my way of acting out. But when the trouble started in town, I realized that my thieving wasn't doing any good. Not to mention, I saw what happened to Martin Bauer. I decided I'd rather honor my father and mother as God commands. It gives me grace with Andreas and Orki on the hard days, and with the rest of the town too. I think Ulrich would be proud. I think everyone can learn from your example, Anna. That's more charitable than some people in Tassing deserve. I think everyone can learn from your example, Anna. Hopefully from my present one, rather than my past, haha. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure you have plenty of mural work to do. I'll see you later, Anna. God bless, Magdalene. I just realized I had my door open. That's probably why it sounded so loud. Well, oh well. Okay. Ricky? Hello, Mag. Okay, hello, Paul. Hello, Magdalene. Andreas. Magdalene. Hello, puppy. Got to the meadow here. Carl and Martha. But it's still so beautiful here, Martha. One more moment. Alright, take your time. Oh, hello, Magdalene. Dad, look who it is. Good morning, Mistress Druckerin. Hello, Martha. Carl, how are you today? On our usual walk around town, the river hasn't grown too cold yet. Ah, yes, I do that too, a walk around town. Dr. Stoll says Dad needs to keep using the legs, or the pain will get worse. Or the leg, okay. And I'm getting old. Not so old you can't sit around at home telling stories. You listen to your daughter, Carl. You're the same age as my dad, aren't you? Yeah, let's go number 2. Ha! Klaus has always been too stubborn to grow old. Shame, what happened to him? As if you're not stubborn too. No argument for me there. Peter survives through sheer stubbornness. You're in a good mood today, I see. Plenty of reasons to be. Tassing never ceases to be beautiful to me. Isn't the meadows a wondrous sight, even in this season? On days the Lord strengthens me, I like going a bit higher up the mountains. Used to admire the view with Anton from there. Wonder what happened to Anton. Ah, Anton, my poor boy. It's alright, Dad. I'm sorry, Carl. So he died. It's not your fault, Magdalene. Just a babe, then. I can't... It's my fault that he died. It's not, Dad. You know it's not. He shouldn't have been with me that night. He shouldn't have... I was a fool. What happened? I know I was there, but all I remember is the flames. What a fire it was. The whole abbey engulfed. I was bleeding. Anton tried to drag me out of the fight. Then that godforsaken, Landsknecht stepped between us. I hope he burns in hell. Is that? Oh, is that Samuel? I can't even imagine what that was like. How old were you during the revolt, Martha? I still think of my mother every day. Nothing can make up for the loss like that. How old were you? 7 or so. I didn't understand what was happening. Someone brought Dad home in the middle of the night. It was dark, confusing. They were screaming outside. Mom and a couple of the men who brought Dad in were trying to patch up the wound, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. She kept shouting, "Where's Anton? Where's Anton?" There was blood on the floor. You cried so much you threw up. We couldn't get you to stop. I couldn't understand where Anton had gone. Dad tried to explain, but... Martha, my dear, enough of that. I'm so sorry. How'd you go on? Did I? I don't know. Some nights I think I'm there still. The abbey is always burning. My Helena passed not long after. I was left alone with Martha to care for. Wait for him to continue. I had to keep going for Martha, and somehow my daughter grew into a wonderful woman despite it all. I suppose that was all Helena's doing. Dad, if I'm any good, it's because of you. Thank you for telling me about that night, Carl and Martha. I'm sorry I asked you to relive it again. No, it needs to be told. We can't let people forget. Not here, not anywhere else. The abbey burned. People died. We have to remember, and our children have to remember. Because when no one remembers any longer, then they will truly be dead. It's time we continued with the walk. Dad. Yes, dear. I'm feeling much more alive now. Be well, you two. Okay. So Anton died. Was killed by Samuel. That bastard. He stole all my money and then he killed a kid. Horrible. I doubt you guys know anything about the history. Oh, hello. Hi, Mags. Sorry I can't talk for long right now. Magdalene. Oh, of course, Magdalene. I didn't mean to be impolite. That's alright. What keeps you so busy? You've more courtesies than Oates and Apollo put together. Thanks, I guess. So what are you doing? You know, it's always December. It's almost December. Preparing for the festivities is a busy time, and Dad can't do it all alone. He pretends to be strong, but I think some of it is an act. He's growing older and sadder. I imagine he misses your mom. Yeah, I miss her too. He doesn't talk about her much anymore. I think he's ashamed. I'm not, though. She was still my mom. You're right not to be ashamed. People said she did many bad things. Everyone does bad things sometimes, you know. When the monks were around, they told us all about God's forgiveness. Molchanov talks about it a lot, too. So, that's what I tried to do. Forgive. You got a kind heart, Killian. Maybe. I just do what I think is right. How's your mural coming along, anyway? One step at a time. Learning about the history of Tassing is a challenge. At least you can read in other languages. What if there's a history of Tassing in one of those books that no one here knows about? Hardly. I don't think this town has ever been important enough. Suppose so. Oh, I'm sorry, Magdalene. I really have to get back to work. Be well. Alright. Is Dad still up here? He is. Nico. Hello, Magdalene. What brings you to my humble inn? I'm on my way up to the Abbey. Can a place named the Golden Hand... Can a place named the Golden Hand be considered humble? I'm on my way up to the Abbey. I thought it'd be helpful to explore the ruins for the mural. Ah, Kirsau. It was an impressive sight in its day. A shame you never got to see it. Lots of history to be uncovered there, no doubt. You mind yourself in that place. Could collapse any day now. Don't worry, Nico, I'll be careful. I imagine it'll be like an adventure from one of those fairy stories. Scrabbling over rubble, uncovering trinkets and mysteries. You remind me of Johanna in that. She was headstrong, fierce when she needed to be. The mural is coming along fine otherwise. It's getting there. Plenty of work to do yet. The more I learn, the better it gets. Good. Can't say I understand much about art. But we all appreciate the work you're doing, and with your dad's... Well, I won't keep you from your adventure then. Besides, I have the inn to clean. Do you have someone to help you? Oh, I don't want to take up your time. Killian will lend a hand. Johanna was good at keeping me straight. She kept this place spotless. If you don't mind me asking, how'd you two meet? I was too young when she passed. I don't remember her at all. Alright, Hannah. She was an impressive woman, even with all that happened. Have I ever told you how I met her? No, but I'd like to hear. We were so young in Passau? Paslau? Paslau? I don't know what this letter here is. It's to the east. I first saw Hannah doing laundry beside the river, just south of the Niedenberg Abbey. The way the sun hit her face off the water, she sparkled. I couldn't get her out of my mind. What'd you love most about her back then? How'd you come to talk to her? Luck and providence. You see, no one could tell me otherwise or something. Then she appeared at my family's warehouse, or who she was, I guess is what it said. We were in the salt trade then. What'd you love most about her back then? It was the way she walked. She struck such a balance between determination and grace. Let him continue. She was a wit in conversation too, with a bold temperament that shone through every so often. We courted. I spoke to her father. A happy day. You miss her a lot? I do. We didn't have a plan when we married. That we'd settled in Tassing was a happenstance. When Killian was old enough to travel, we happened to pass through on our way to Zurich. Why not stay in Passau? I was right, Passau. The salt trade was struggling, and there was trouble brewing in the east and south. The Lithuanians had started warring with the Muscovites. There were rumors of the peasant uprisings. That wasn't unusual at the time, was it? No, but it felt more threatening at the time. Too close. Besides, we were going to Zurich for trade. We hadn't decided to leave Passau yet. As there was time to spare, we visited Kirsau and, of course, the Shrine of the Hand of St. Moritz. Her eyes lit up. She said, God has blessed us with an opportunity. The town had no inn then. We proposed the landhouse to the abbot, and he gladly accepted. So the inn was Hannah's idea. No. Did I say that? It was a shared dream. Hannah and I were happy. So happy. Those first years must have been something. Oh, they were impossible. Would you believe the money it takes to build a landhouse? Still, they were good years. Laugh in the face of moral plans, or God laughs in the face of mortal plans. There we go. Laugh in the face of moral plans, yeah. And then Hannah leaped into the arms of that fucking miller. I didn't know what to do. We had Killian to look after in the landhouse. I loved her, so I let it happen. Then Otto died. And Andreas fucking Maller couldn't help but get himself involved. Yikes. Well, you know. Yeah. Admittedly, it didn't turn out very well. I never did set things straight with her. Maybe I could have saved her. Saved us. If I had only had the courage. That's not something anyone can know but God. Perhaps I'll ask him when the time comes. I can't be that far off now. But I've kept you too long with my talking. You had the Abbey to explore after all. It was good talking to you, Nico. Thank you for sharing Johanna's story with me. You did me the favor, Magdalene. I won't forget it. Until later. Until then. Alright. Up to the Abbey we go. We could go into the forest. Maybe on our way back, we'll talk to Smokey. Even the old guest house is falling apart. Yeah, it is. The vines have grown over the entrance to the old abbot house. Yeah, I guess I'd need like an axe or something. Get through that. I should talk to Sister Gertrude since she was a Benedictine nun at Kirsau before the poor Clares arrived. She would be able to tell me all about the convent's history for the mural. Indeed. Huh. I can't even go into the abbey yet. Okay. I guess we gotta talk to her first. Let's check the shrine real quick. Nope, nobody here. Okay. Convent garden. Hey, Gertrude. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, sister. I have a favor to ask of you. Of course, Magdalene. I'll help however I can. I have a book, the Historia Taciae, and I can't read it very well. Can you help me translate it? Oh, I'm afraid my Latin isn't good enough to translate something like that. Its grammar structures are far too complex. I'm sorry, Magdalene. That's all right, sister. I'll have to find some other way. There is one more thing, if you don't mind. It's about the Rathaus mural. Oh, did you need more paint? I believe I have enough galls stored away. No, thank you, sister. I have more than enough paint. I wanted to ask you about the history of Kirsau, actually. I'd like to include the Abbey's founding and history of tassing saints to the Rathaus mural. I wrote to Reverend Matthew, since he lived at the Abbey, but wanted to see the place firsthand. Ah, Brother Matthew became a reverend, did he? He was always suited to such a role. But I don't suppose that's what you came up the hill for. You're curious about the saint's history, yes? Yes, I was hoping you could show me around the convent and tell me about its history. The poor Clares don't allow outsiders within the convent, even other women. Mother, Francisca, wouldn't like anyone coming in for such a worldly concern. Well, that makes my job more difficult. Let me finish, Magdalene Druckerin. However, Mother Francisca always welcomes those who are considering joining the order. If a young woman sincerely considered joining the convent, she may be allowed to enter and observe the sisters. Who knows what else she may discover while contemplating the holy life, I see. Well, I suppose exploring all my options can't hurt. I've always been drawn to your veil, sister. There's something about the fashion. Exploring all my options can't hurt? Touring the convent will take some time. Would you like to go see Mother Francisca now? No. Very well. Come find me if you change your mind. God bless you, Magdalene. Okay. I think that's all I have left to do. But let me just check inside real quick. Alright, so there's nothing in here. Let's go ahead and head back out. Over to the prioress's house. Hello, Francisca. God bless you, Magdalene. I had been hoping to speak with you. Do you perhaps have a moment? Of course, Mother. How can I help? I had heard that you had taken up the mural in the Rathaus after your father's terrible attack. Yes, I'm excited to paint the town's history. Your enthusiasm and insistence is most troubling to some people in town. I know the council was hesitant at first, but they all agreed I could do it. Some people? You wouldn't happen to be including yourself in that group, would you? Very astute, Magdalene. Yes, I am concerned for you, as are others. I understand how you must have struggled with your mother's passing while you were so young. Without a maternal figure to guide you, it is no wonder your spirit has wandered and wavered from its nature. My spirit's fine, thanks. The pursuit of such trades is not for women, but men. As Paul writes, God calls women to work at home, not in trades. While supporting your father is laudable, taking on his work is imprudent. There are plenty of young men in Tassing worthy of you, Or perhaps you have a different calling. I'd like to offer you a place here among the sisters. I understand you may disagree with my choices, but I'm not going to stop painting the mural, Mother Francisca. My dad taught me how to run the shop, and I love painting. Or I love printing. What's wrong with working as a printer? Wait, who's saying I'm troubling? And how did you hear that anyway? Aren't you all stuck up here? Well, St. Hildegard wrote music and books as a woman. That never stopped her. Why should it stop me? St. Hildegard was the chosen of God, and survived many years of trials and illness. Would you follow her sacrifice, Magdalene? I just don't want my only options to be marriage or being stuck in a convent. I want to do more. I think I'm going through enough trials to deserve some freedom, at least. Be careful that you do not test the Lord, young lady. Pride goes before a fall. And look how proud you are. Think of my offer, Magdalene. God bless you. I despise it. The hypocrisy. Let's get out of here. I don't even know if I want to pretend. I do think that that's my only option, though. Let's go ahead and do this. God bless you, Magdalene. Would you like to go inside and meet with Mother Francisca now? Yes. It's going to be so... She's going to have such a smug look on her face. Mother Francisca, I'd like to introduce Magdalene Druckren. The printer's daughter, yes. We just talked. God bless you, Magdalene. Father Thomas told us of your father's condition, and we pray for his recovery daily. Oh, thank you, Abbess. Such is our duty to serve the Lord and the community that provides for us. Now, what is this about, Sister Gertrude? You know our holy rules. Why bring young Mistress Druckren to me? Forgive me, Mother. Magdalene is searching for a place in the world and is contemplating the holy life. I thought observing the sisters might aid her in her spiritual search. She was encouraged by the idea. Right, yes. So you decided to consider my offer after all. If God is calling you to the convent, I am more than willing to help you to fulfill the divine cause. What brought this change on? Why are you interested in joining the poor Clares? I'm worried that helping my father, running the shop alone, and finishing the mural are too much for me. Well, if I become a sister, I won't have to marry, which is far better than being stuck bearing kids for the rest of my life. I had a holy vision. Saint Satya told me that I was destined for higher things. I've been reading about the saints and feel called to learn more about their lives and dedication to God. You can certainly devote yourself to the life of the saints with us as a sister. Your life of contemplation leads to fulfillment, to which no earthly reward can compare. Please come, I'm happy to tell you more of our order. Yay. Woo, yay. Our small convent used to be part of the larger Kirsau double monastery, as I'm sure you've been told by Sister Gertrude. Okay, so that's okay. However, the poor Clares live far differently than the Benedictines that once lived here. We believe that it is not ours to produce, and live solely on the alms of the community of Tassing, as they see fit to give. Likewise, none of the sisters here own any personal property. We share this convent as a gift from the church. We believe that the Lord called us into a life of poverty and service. Does such a life appeal to you, Magdalene? I'm not entirely certain yet. I'd like to explore and look around, get a feel for the place. Magdalene, you must not have understood me. We have deliberately closed ourselves off from the world. I won't have a lay woman bothering the sisters from their duties, or disturbing our rule. However, I will allow Sister Suzanne to show you our duties. Please take your time. When you have finished, please come find me, and we will discuss your decision to join. Finally, I thought she'd never finish. What? Truthfully, I'm not here to join the convent. I'm looking for references for a mural I'm painting in the Rathaus. Time to start exploring. You can either come or not, up to you. Well, I'm going to take a look around. Where are we going first? Now that the lecture is over, I can go on with what I'm here for. Are you coming? Time to start exploring. You can either come or not, up to you. But Mother Francisca said... She said that as long as I'm with you, it's fine to look around. Are you really going to get us both in trouble? No, I always follow Mother Francisca's orders. The convent has many parts. The kitchen, the lacarium, the chapter house, the yard, and the old workshop, though no one uses that old shed anymore. I'll leave it to you to decide where to go first. Awesome. Thank you, Suzanne. Margaret! God bless you, Magdalene. Oh, I don't get to talk to her? She's still here. Wait, I've talked to her before, haven't I? I think so. This is the kitchen. This isn't where it used to be, is it? There's not anything that interesting here. Sister Mary and Sister Yazabu? Isabeau? Take care of most of the kitchen duties, but everyone pitches in when needed. I see. Hello. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, sister. How goes the cooking? As well as the Lord wills it. My old fingers fumble from time to time, but it's my privilege to prepare supper for the other sisters. That's very noble of you. Shouldn't someone else be helping you, sister? That seems excessive. Shouldn't someone else be helping you? No. The Almighty has given me a gift. Just as God gave Paul a thorn in his side, so too did he give me the pains of age to strengthen my faith. Such things are a blessing when compared to the pains Christ carried upon the cross. I guess that's true. I don't believe the Lord wants us to suffer, sister. But didn't Christ die so that we don't have to suffer unnecessarily? Yeah. In the next life, yes. But even said we would face hardships while we live. But even Christ said we would face hardships while we live on this earth. If I can talk. I've chosen to find meaning and devotion to the Lord through my hardship. Thank you for sharing your perspective with me, sister. You are most welcome, child. God bless you. Mary? God bless you, child. Are you delivering something? No, sister. I'm learning more about the convent's history so that I can finish a mural in town. Oh, I'm considering joining the convent, so Mother Francisca graciously allowed me to visit with you. Alleluia. Glory and praise be to God. You've brought such joy to me this day, child. Yeah, well, I'm lying. I haven't actually joined yet, sister. Do you have a strong stomach? Perhaps you can help Sister Isabeau, I don't know, and me in the kitchens. I enjoy preparing meals for the sisters that nourish us, but I can never bring myself to cut the animal or butcher the animals. Sister Isabeau has graciously taken on that task for me. We need sustenance, but I feel butchering any animal is wrong according to the rule of St. Francis. To cause suffering to any living creature is unnecessary and evil, even if God granted Adam and Eve dominion over the animals. Yeah. The kitchen seems fairly simple. Is there anything here from the convent's founding days? No more than the structure itself, I'm afraid. Cookware needs replacing over the years. Though some nights a ghost appears to me by the cook fire, a lost spirit trapped here between heaven and hell. Sister Mary, not this again. Not to Magdalene, please. Could it have been a ghost of one of the sisters from the founding of the convent? Maybe even St. Tassia? Yeah, let's go that one. If it was, she has never said a word to me, though I fell prostrate in prayer before. Even though I fell prostrate in prayer before her. The spirit, whoever it is, rose up through the ground at vigils. Dawn and dusk are the hours when the boundaries between this world and the spiritual world are the weakest. We may be the newest arrivals here, but this convent is very old. Perhaps there was something Roman underneath this foundation centuries before. The spirit may seek to know the presence of God now that it rests on holy ground. A spirit in Kersau. Why would it come to the convent, though? A Roman spirit might be a great addition to the mural. I don't know that the council would approve, though. I really think it must have been something else, sister. Why would it come to the convent? It breaks my heart to think this spirit was crying out for help, trapped beyond heaven's reach. Why don't we keep going, Magdalene? It's better not to get Sister Mary too upset. Of course. God bless you, sister. God bless you, child. Okay. So there's a ghost. A ghost. Convent courtyard. Brr, it's colder today. There's not much in the yard that could help you. I think anything that was here has long been covered in weeds. All I know about this place is that the walls were added when the convent was built onto the monastery. Oh, bless you, Sister Benedicta. Sister Suzanne, God bless you. This ice is hard. Do I recognize you, Sister Benedicta? I think I've seen you in town once or twice. Yes, you'd have seen her. Sister Benedicta is the youngest of the sisters. Mother Francisca allows only one sister to deal with the townsfolk. Benedicta received this privilege. Burden, more like. I have to run around everywhere, gathering up all the food and doing all the chores. I'd rather be inside where it's warm. What are you doing in the convent, anyway? Oh, I'm considering... snooping. Mother Francisca said I could look around. Oh? Well, don't let me get in the way, then. Actually, Sister Benedicta, I wanted to ask you some questions. Do you like being a nun? Oh, yes, I don't mind it at all. It's far quieter than home, and I don't have to share my bed with my siblings anymore. I like to be able to help my sisters, and I don't mind the chores except when it's cold like this. One more question, Sister Benedicta. Have you seen any mysterious figures or ghosts lately? Ghosts? No, everything has been normal recently. I haven't noticed anything odd. Is this about Sister Mary's ghost? I think it's, Mauritius himself. Oh no. Who? Mauritius. Don't tell Mother Francisca this, but I found an old book about Christian legends hidden in the workshop. It said that a Roman commander named, Mauritius conquered Tassing, but the colony failed. Most of the town was empty until Christian refugees found the town hidden in the valley. It was a miracle. Christian refugees? I wonder if this is a different retelling of the St. Moritz saving Tassing. Oh, maybe. I don't remember if the book mentioned any saints. The Latin was very hard to read. Anyway, when Sister Mary said she saw a ghost, I thought it must be Mauritius trying to get us out. A Roman ghost couldn't be happy about his tower being turned into an abbey, could he? Definitely not. What did you do with this book, sister? Oh, well, I had it with me in the kitchen one day, and I accidentally laid the fire poker on it. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh my god, it must be completely destroyed. I tried to fix it, but it's unreadable now. Sorry, Magdalene. That's alright. That book probably have gone unread otherwise. I'm glad you were enjoying it. I suppose it's better that the book got some use before it was lost forever. I can't. I mean, how could? Oh, never mind. That's alright. Besides, that story gives me ideas for the Rathaus mural. Thanks for telling me about the book, sister. I won't tell Mother Francisca. God bless you, sister. Haha, thanks, Magdalene. God bless you. Alright. Convent Art Studio. Check this place out. Cough. The workshop is covered in dust. Yes, this was the Benedictine sisters' workshop. They used to make badges and art for the pilgrims coming to see the hand of St. Moritz. It looks like everything was just left here after the fire. Nothing's been used in years. We can't subsist on painting, and the poor Clares don't produce goods for sale, so we have no reason to be in here. But art allows us to find beauty in life. Even Christ said the Father clothes the lilies of the field in beauty. Just because art isn't essential to survival doesn't mean you can't do any kind of painting. Wait, just because art isn't essential to survival means you can't do any kind of painting? That sounds horrible. Surely you've thought of sneaking in and creating something, right? I thought about it. I'm just not sure if it's really worth it. Mother Francisca doesn't let us come in here, unless to put something in storage. I've come in a few times and noticed some of the brushes have gone missing. paint pots too. You think one of the sisters is secretly painting? I wouldn't be surprised if the twins managed to sneak their way in. You think it's the ghost Sister Mary was talking about? Whatever Sister Marie thinks, I don't think spirits can enter holy ground. Besides, what would a ghost need with the dried up paints and brushes? It's the ghost of Andreas. Good point. It's probably something else. Maybe he's trying to send a message. A message? What kind of message? Maybe a warning? Smokey says ghosts come back to deliver warnings. Well, I haven't seen any dried paint around the convent, much less any warnings. I don't think it's a ghost, Magdalene. In any case, I think it's sad that the workshop is left like this. Truthfully, Magdalene, I don't think you should join the convent, even if that's not what you're here for anyway. Gertrude talks about you, and you seem to love your art. Without it, you'd hate it here. Yeah, probably. Such valuable paint not to dry and crack on the pallets. There's an old parchment scrap here. It's different than the others. Oh, I thought it was going to be one of the writings. Oh, it's a cistern. Or is it? That's a bathhouse. Is it? I don't know. It looks like a scrap from a manuscript. There's something written in Latin in the margins. The Mithraeum of Tassing has been destroyed by a flood. Oh. Mithraeum. That's the same word I saw in the Roman section of the mine. Wait, this might be the book Sister Benedicta found. I wonder why it would mention the Mithraeum. Why would someone have written that in the margins of a manuscript? And where's the rest of the book? Benedicta, yep, that's her. Ruined the book. I don't know. It's not a word I've ever heard before. There's certainly nothing in the Covenant by that name, or the Convent by that name. Well, the note... No, damn it. Don't know why that's been happening a lot more recently. These old badges are beautiful. I hope the pilgrims who brought them, or bought them, love them too. Okay. So we're still in the convent. I thought they had like or taken over the abbey, but that's not what happened. There's the chapel. Aquarium. This is the other side of this. Here's the aquarium. Most of the abbey's visitors come in here, but aren't allowed to enter. We aren't allowed to go into the outside world either. Like Mother Francisca said, isolation is a part of our vows. Sister Gertrude once told me the old Benedictine sisters used to go out into the town sometimes, and even talk to men on occasions. And I'm stuck here, staring at these walls for the rest of my life. Are you unhappy here? It doesn't seem like Sister Suzanne thinks much of her life here. I can't blame her. It must seem like a boring life to her. Even so, she doesn't seem to have the passion that Sister Gertrude and the others have. If she hates her life here so much, maybe I should encourage her to leave the order. She must have chosen to stay here for some reason. Maybe I should encourage her in her vocation. And let's go with the first one. Better to leave while she has a future ahead of her. After all, there are plenty of young men in Bavaria who would make a good husband. Still, there may be some reason she chose to stay. I don't want to overstep my bounds. You didn't always want to be a Port Clare sister? No. Who would want to be a nun? My father promised me to the church as a baby. Some oath he swore when my mother struggled in her pregnancy. So there I was, dropped in the Port Clares the summer I turned 17. And they took you in just like that. Nobody asked you what you wanted? I'm so sorry. No one should be forced into the life they don't want. Nobody asked what you wanted? Why should they? The Port Clares rely on the offerings of others, even their children, to subsist. My family is devoted to the church. I've only been in the convent for 2 years, but I'm trying my best. I don't mind the prayers or the hours, and I'm sure of my devotion to the Lord, but this isn't what I wanted. But since when did a woman ever get what she wanted without being punished? Eve couldn't even manage it. We can only do the best we can. I pray that one day it'll be different. It takes a long time. Far too long. I understand. I have more autonomy to go where I want, but I'm still bound by the expectations of marriage and homemaking. Yeah. I remember the days of running around town. I wish I could have gotten married. I wanted to be a mother. Sometimes I get jealous of Sister Gertrude and even Sister Margaret. At least they get to see something of the outside world before they were 20. Hey, you're protected here from the plague and the Protestant rebels. It's a good life. Why don't you leave? I think you're lucky. You don't have to deal with boys. If you could do anything else, what would it be? Don't forget Matilda and Woslav. They used to be part of Curacao too. What would it be if you could do anything else? I would have liked to go to one of those big cities at least once. I'd have been happy just to be a shopkeeper's wife. Thanks for listening, Magdalene. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the cloister. Lead on. Yeah, that must be tough. Oh, what's this? Is this not important? Hey, Sister Gertrude. This is the chapel, where we all gather for Mass and liturgy. It's the oldest part of the convent. And the most drafty. Hello again, Sister Gertrude. The sisters have done some minor retouches over the years, but it has represented the abbey from its earliest days. Oh, there's the tower and the library. The cloister is still being constructed here. Yes, the tower was a, Burgfried? A freestanding defensive tower not built for permanent habitation, long before the structure became a monastery. The duchy gifted it to the Benedictine order after the Holy Roman Empire grew. They had no use for it as a keep. These walls have protected Tassing from attacks of spirit and steel for generations. There's Latin here too. God called Lady Sabine to lead our sisters and brothers in 1261. Lord Curacau's castle was destroyed by fire in the year of the death of Emperor Frederick II. Only the tower remained. Well done, Magdalene. Yes, the first lists the abbey's founding date. The Lady Curacao was actually the one to suggest the old castle be turned into a double monastery. We added the second shortly after the revolt. Mother Illuminata thought it would be fitting, even if the sisters were here, some record of what occurred would remain. Curacao is unique, a double monastery with 2 saints, one male and one female, to guard the town and abbey. So the foundation of the abbey was even older than the Holy Roman Empire? It seems odd that a monastery would reuse a place meant for war and force. Fascinating to think that even before the Duke gifted it to the church, the fortification was founded by St. Moritz. Let's go with the third one. The saints have a long history in these lands. Many things once thought lost are truly foundational to how we live. You're right, sister. This mural will be a great reference for the Rath House. And then I'm glad to have helped. God bless you, Magdalene. Well, you've seen the entire convent. There's not much here. What do you think of it? I understand the appeal of such a small life. It offers its own freedoms from the world, even if I'm not drawn to it. I can see why people chose the holy life, but it's not for me. Not without art. To be honest, it seems like a life of drudgery. Not without art. I understand. You've dedicated your whole life to your work. You'd struggle to give that up now. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone from outside the convent. I'm reminded of the life I once had. Now you have me thinking about whether or not I should remain with the sisters. I think you should go. You never chose this life. You deserve to have the life you truly want. I'm sure Mother Francisca's gonna hate me for this, but Magdalene and I think you're right. My family devotion doesn't have to be mine. Maybe I can find a way in time. I'll help however I can, Suzanne. I'm sure we have some spare provisions at home. Really? That would be wonderful, so long as no one found out. I mean, Gertrude's right there. Anyway, we should return to Mother Francisca before she suspects something. I learned a lot today. Thank you for showing me around the convent. No, thank you. Or thank God, Magdalene. Today has been... Or thank you. Yeah, it is thank you. Today has been more interesting than any I can remember in the Abbey. Damn, must be a boring life. This is the most interesting thing. Come, let's find Mother Francisca. She'll be wanting to hear what you thought of the place. Well, Magdalene, what is your assessment of the poor Clares? Is the good Lord calling you to life with us as a sister? I am compelled by the devoted life the sisters lead, Mother Francisca, but I'm afraid I must tend to my father first. I think I prefer the books and printing. In any case, I need to finish the mural. Then I might take over for my father. Well, I hadn't thought about my holy duty of providing children to a husband. And I just can't give that up so soon. Yeah, let's go with that one. I mean, I'd love to, but I gotta make the babies. Now, who's gonna make the babies if I don't make the babies? Sorry, I can't do it. Motherhood is a divine blessing, Magdalene. Be careful with your sarcasm. I literally said it just like that. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, Mother Francisca, truth be told, I think oats might actually be a good match for me. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do, young lady. Our community is quite modest compared to the splendor of an old Benedictine house operating under the rule of a powerful abbot. I see why fewer women are drawn to the order these days. I will pray that you find your way, Magdalene. God bless you. Later. Gertrude? Magdalene, how'd your little expedition go? I learned a lot from seeing the Abbey. I have a good idea of what I'll depict in the mural now. Well, I learned about the poor Clares, but not as much about the history of the Abbey as I wanted. Yeah, I'm frustrated that there's so little left of the old Abbey and saints. But sister, there's something I don't understand. The Abbey was so prosperous. Why didn't the monks rebuild it after the fire? What a task that would be. The chapel was beautiful. The stained glass always caught my eye in the morning. There was a great deal of anger and sadness in Tassing that night. The abbot felt the brothers and sisters were no longer welcome in Tassing, and moved on. In truth, the abbey's dissolution was inevitable. Curacao was running out of money and patrons. The riot and the fire were simply a particularly awful and painful way to end the monastery. Did anything survive the fire? Some of the buildings are intact, but all are terribly overgrown. I haven't dared forage in the rubble. I doubt you'd find anything of help for your mural inside other than charred wood and parchment. It might still be worth taking a look, if I'm careful. I worry after you sometimes, Magdalene. I really do. Thank you for all your help, Sister Gertrude. You are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Okay. Do I gotta eat? Is that a thing I still have to do? Visit the poor Clares, which I just did. Well, that was... I don't know. I did learn more about the founding of Curacao. And that illustration from the manuscript, the Mithraeum, it was like the one in the mine. Is it part of the history of the Abbey of Tassing? It must be written down somewhere. If only the library hadn't burned down with everything in it. The ruins are right over there. Maybe not everything was destroyed. I mean, you know. We gotta do it, right? Let's do it. Oh, we get some music. My God, this is amazing. I wonder what it must have looked like before the fire. Everything collapsed in the fire. I'll have to be careful climbing over the rubble to get past. Careful. Oh. Oh shit. Language. That's a long drop. Don't do it. There you go. Right at the end. Oh no, I can't get back up there. If I climb, it might collapse further. Well, that's not good, is it? I'll have to find another way out. Yeah, there'll be other ways. Up the tower. Oh, the bells! Got some vines here. I'm gonna climb the vines. There's nothing left of the old staircase. I guess I can't go this way. These vines go all the way to the top, though. They look sturdy enough to hold my weight. Well, there's no other way out. This is a dumb decision, isn't it? Where am I gonna go from up here? Great view, though. I can see all of Tassing from here. I wonder if I can piece together the foundations of the Abbey and find a way to get to the library. I bet I could get down this way. The roof looks pretty stable. Does it look stable? I don't know about that roof. Okay, there's the stable side's on that side. Ah, yes, the scriptorium. Scriptorium. Man, it really looks like people haven't really come in here at all, have they? Oh god. I remember when the library burned down. Dad told me I was just a baby, but I remember the flames coming out of the windows. So many people were screaming and running around, I cried myself to sleep that night. I haven't seen this place since. It doesn't look like there's anything left inside. I suppose it's too much to hope for. Well, Magdalene, how are you going to get out of here? Well, I'm not. This is the end. These roses seem to have made the Abbey their home. I'm glad something beautiful is still growing here. Me too. Ah, the cemetery. Okay, so we can't go down to the animal pens. These roses seem to have made the Abbey their home. Yeah, okay. Brother Piero, I'm glad you weren't around to see what happened to this place. Kitties! I wonder if there were always this many cats at the Abbey. Perhaps I can ask Wojslav what he remembers during his time here. That wouldn't be a bad idea. This place is a mess. How sad. The door is stuck. I can't get through this way. Into the chapter house. This is where the murder happened. Of the Baron. Oh, an old mural. It's worn, but I can still see some of the figures. A dance of death? What? These figures look new. The paint can't be more than a few years old. Yeah, I was thinking that's not... that's not... Yeah. Someone's been adding to this. This feels wrong. Who would add new figures to the Dance of Death, and to why? What do we have? bunch of papers. I'm trying to see. These are like figures we know. These look like people from the town, from here. People who died. That must be the Baron. Where? There's Ferenc. Is this Anna? Yeah, this is Otto right here. This is the Baron over here. So this is Andreas. I'm guessing burned in the fire. Wait, is that... Someone's here. Hello? Who are you? Well, that's not great, is it? The door. Whoever was watching me must have opened it. I don't like this. I think I've seen everything left of the Abbey. I want to get out of here. Yeah. Not good. Not good. When did it start snowing? I should get back to the Wrath House and get to work. Okay. I think that's where we're going to end this episode, guys. In the next episode, we'll get to the Wrath House, paint the second part of the mural, and I think we'll probably have a third part that we'll need to do. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.